This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast for Wednesday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day today.
It is Star Wars Day today.
Thank you for digging. The May the 4th be with you joke goes back a lot farther than I thought it did. I thought it was
from the very beginning.
Like a hashtag in the last 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
The movie was still in theaters when that joke came up.
Yeah. They had released, and funny enough, too, I didn't mention this, but George Lucas's birthday is May 14th.
Okay.
So, May's a big month for Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, May the 4th. So the first movie came out in 77, 78.
Yep.
And then and a lot of phrases came out of it, one being, May the Force be with you.
That was
so
huge.
fans were saying that everywhere.
Yeah.
But then Margaret Thatcher, the first female prime minister in Britain, was elected in 1979 in May. And her party took out a full-page ad in the local paper, which used to be what everybody knows now as the internet.
Right.
We actually had papers. Took out a full-page ad and said, May the 4th be with you, Maggie. Congratulations, because that's when she won.
Yeah.
Was May the 4th. So they took it and spun it. And from that, now we say, May the 4th be with you. And of course, tomorrow is
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith for May the 5th.
Revenge of the 5th.
But yeah, I went on to read or learn that here in Canada, in 2001 was the first full day of fandom in Toronto. It was an underground cinema where they had a marathon, like May the 4th.
Right.
So they made it a Star Wars Day. So that was in 2001. Then in 2019, California petitioned and made it official in the state of California that today is Star Wars Day.
Okay.
Because there was the opening of a new ride at Disneyland, and Star Wars, of course, is a Disney
property now, yeah.
conglomerate.
Yeah.
So they opened a new ride in 2019. The state of California made it official that today is Star Wars Day.
By the way, if you go down to Disney World, I don't know if anybody's going anytime soon. My children were down there in January. Pandemic, you can't talk to them. And they stood in line for 2 hours for the new Star Wars ride. It was worth every minute, they said. Because let's face it,
doubt.
Disney and Star Wars, they don't skimp.
Oh.
They're all in.
Well,
They
and
make it
Disney
big, make it
now
big.
is such, not only, there's so many arms to it, there's so many umbrellas to it. It's not just Disney World. It's not just the Magic Kingdom. Now you have MGM, which is Star Wars, Marvel, like all these other little parts to it that are huge in itself. And speaking of Marvel, Doctor Strange is out this weekend.
That's right.
Big weekend ahead of us. So talking about big films,
That'll
that's
be
expected to be
$225 million opening.
easily. They say it's going to be as big as Spider-Man. Maybe not as big, but close to it.
I think the movies, because of Benedict Cumberbatch, is such a beloved character and the role he played in the Avengers. Is he that big in comics as he is in the movies? Can I ask that question? Like, you know what I mean?
I am not the person to ask.
Like, I wonder if that character, if it was not Benedict Cumberbatch who just commands the role, hasn't made it a bigger one than, say, the comic books did, because that character isn't as big as Spider-Man or...
Well, and I've read that when Marvel started, because it's all in phases.
Yeah.
They do their phase.
Yeah.
And they do so many movies, so many characters. When they started with phase 1, so that would have been the introduction of Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Hulk. Hulk was a big one, but Captain America, I remember reading, Thor, kind of not as big as the Spider-Man,
Right.
as Hulk, as Iron Man. They were kind of almost secondary, and that's kind of what we've seen in the Marvel Universe. They've actually pulled characters that might not be secondary, but maybe not as well known or not as much written about, and brought them to the forefront, and now they're huge. I don't know. We have become a Marvel family. I can't say I was familiar a lot with these characters prior to.
I mean, the great
So
Stan Lee has passed away, but I suppose if you could sit down and have a lunch with him and say, when you were writing all of these out, did you envision that Doctor Strange would star in his own movie, kind of carry some of the Avengers load in those movies and become such a great spin-off? I don't think the idea was that he was going to have that Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man
I don't think
persona.
so either.
But
I
the
don't think he was
writing
ever
and
that
Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, make Doctor Strange the incredible character that he is in a movie.
Well, I laugh because, and I know we're getting sidetracked here with the Marvel talk.
No, it's okay.
But
It's our podcast.
You get sucked into this world. I can't say that Doctor Strange has been one of my favorite characters, but they take someone like that and they make him.
Yeah.
He becomes this big character and this world of, wow, yeah, you buy right into it and you get invested in it. So it's amazing what they've done with these characters
that
and how they've brought it.
The last, current Spider-Man movie couldn't have existed. It was because of Doctor Strange.
He was a big part of it, yeah.
So good for him, Benedict Cumberbatch. Coming up this weekend, I'll predict 225 million it'll make this weekend.
I got to think about it because I don't think that it will be as big as Spider-Man because Doctor Strange, if the first movie, it's gotten easier to follow, but the first movie I find it's probably one of my least favorites.
Okay.
Because it's a lot more involved and you really have to pay attention. And it jumps around a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it will be as easy for people who maybe aren't Marvel fans to go and see. It's going to be big.
Yeah.
It will be.
I think everybody who saw Spider-Man is going to go see this one and take their mom because it's Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think it'll start with a 2, though. I'm going to go with a 2.
Absolutely.
200 some odd.
Yes.
So we'll have more with that with Jimmy Holloway coming up tomorrow morning. And a big part of this week was talking with Church Key Brewery owner-operator John Graham.
Yes, great.
guy.
We checked in with him. We first met John or spoke with John 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we spoke to him when he was in Europe. He was en route with passengers from Ukraine's border to safety. He was driving them to safety. He is now going back. So we spoke to him about that journey.
When last we spoke with you, you were about 14,000 kilometers from here.
Yeah, well,
So
I'm back, but temporarily. So,
Yeah.
I'm in Campbellford right now, in Patrick's Corners, and getting ready to head back there next Monday.
Yeah. Let's break the chat up. Thought number 1 is let's raise some money for you. You've got a great spring revival coming up Saturday to raise money before you go back to Poland. Tell us about it.
So that's an event that we have done. Church Key's 23 years old now, so that's something that we have done every year right up until the pandemic. So we had a 2-year gap, like lots of things. So it's just it's kind of a music and food festival, just to get together and wake up the world and revive the spring as it goes. So that isn't necessarily tied directly to that was going to happen anyway. So the reason I'm not leaving till immediately after that is because it is a big event for the brewery. So, but I did think we could couple them together somewhat, and we've got a first aid supply drive happening. So we're trying to fill a couple of suitcases, just stuff them full of gauze and burn dressings and all of the things that are in short supply there right now, and we'll I'll get them to the global disaster relief team that's working in Prushnal, Poland right now, doing some good work there. And they're all, they're relying on supplies being donated and such.
Did you find that those supplies were in quite short availability when you were there?
Absolutely,
yeah.
That's the way to get someone's attention. To say, I have a suitcase full of first aid stuff. It gets you noticed. Dave brought one over. Ian brought one over, and we purchased 2 full, not suitcases, but 2 great big loads. One in Germany and one in Poland, that we were able to get closer to where things are happening, where they're needed.
So for those who are going to be attending the spring revival this Saturday at Church Key, they should bring their first aid supplies with them to donate. And then on Monday, you said that's when you're going to travel back to Poland and do essentially what you were doing before. Is it going to be transporting passengers?
Yeah, it worked, and the conflict has continued to escalate, obviously, and that is made even more of a need. When we first went, I think they were talking there was 3 million refugees, and now the number's at 4.7, and they figure possibly 8 million by the end of the year. So this is not about to solve itself, unfortunately. And what we're doing is so minor. We last time I was able to move 40 people, but that's 40 out of 4 million. So it's necessary. These are the ones that are falling between the cracks. The ones that have some contacts, have somewhere to go. Usually, family members in other parts of Western Europe that don't have a way to get there. You know, the bus system is strained. There's lots of private buses chartered by actual entire countries. Denmark and Sweden have really stepped up and offered accommodations and multiple highway buses to get people to there. But the ones that we've been helping out are the ones that are going either to rural parts of Western Europe or just have no way of connecting. You know, the trains are complicated. The one group we brought down to Bulgaria, and it's a long way. It took about 30 hours to drive there. But if they needed to rely on some sort of, you know, train bus combo transfer, I think they would have been weeks if they could have it at all. So it's yeah, and they had two young babies and an 11-year-old girl with them. So they, I really do feel I was needed and appreciated in that particular scenario. So yeah.
Yeah. John Graham, the owner-operator of Church Key Brewery in Campbellford. Once again, the Spring Revival is a rain or shine this weekend. 6 bands, including Blue Eyed Dogs, from noon until 7 on Saturday. But John, this is trip number 2. How are you preparing this one differently than your first trip some 8 weeks ago?
Because learned a little bit flying directly into Poland this time instead of Berlin. When we first cooked up the plan, we weren't sure how quickly Poland was going to get involved in the conflict. And so as things have evolved, everything stayed on the Ukrainian side of the line. So that makes flying in and out of Krakow, so that's about 7 hours closer to where I want to be anyway. So that's the first major change. Other than that, I know exactly where I'm going. I feel I can get some passengers, you know, as soon as I get there, as quickly as it makes sense. And whereas there was a bit of a learning curve last time, I drove directly to the train station last time and had to have lots of broken conversations and charades in Polish and Ukrainian to try to figure out what exactly my need was there. But I have a little more of a clear plan, and I know where I'm headed and what I'm doing.
Now, were there many obstacles in finding passengers, John? Did you have to kind of maneuver through any red tape, or did you find people were really quite welcoming when you showed up in the van, essentially? Both is the answer to that. It changes daily. There's a lot of well-meaning NGOs that do create a layer of bureaucracy that slows things down, which is both necessary and they're the ones doing the private driver registration, which was great, and I was happy to have a bracelet on my arm and showing that who I was and what I was, because human trafficking is still a real issue with this, because it is primary. I think the number I heard is 95% women and children is who's coming across.
Yeah. I mean, if the fact that a woman with a baby would get into your van and just hope that you are this nice Canadian that you say you are has got to just be gut-wrenching. Like, thank God they find you.
Yeah, and it's why we did we're renting again the biggest van we can, and it's I'm hopefully creating a safety in numbers feel for them.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to split up a family if it was a mother and 6 kids and they had to travel in 2 different vehicles. That would be a different stress. So that's why we get the large van again and have at her. Yeah.
You're a heck of a guy, John, and I know some of the stuff is out of pocket, but it's pretty expensive. How can people help pay for your efforts?
We've got a Facebook page and a GoFundMe. It's the GoFundMe is just transportation for Ukrainian refugees, and any money we raised there. We finished off the previous GoFundMe. We actually closed it and had some residual funds and donated those to Red Cross, which is their promise. So this is a fresh start. So it just launched a few days ago, and it's already starting to trickle in. And if people want to donate on it, that would be absolutely fantastic. It'll go into renting the van and the diesel fuel and everything we need to do some good work there.
And how much do you think that'll be?
We've set it at 15,000 again, and we'll see how many runs I can make, and it all depends what fuel stays at and all that. So last time we raised 18,000, and our expenses were just over 13, I think 13 or 14, and we wrote a check to the Red Cross for 4,300. So that covered everything, and looking to do something similar on this one.
And how long do you expect to be there this time?
I'm going to be there till 1st of June.
Okay.
Oh, it's about 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, you say it's pretty minor what you're doing, John. I would argue that, because to the people you're helping, it's huge. This is, in some cases, I'm sure, life-saving. So good for you for taking this initiative and doing that. Again, Spring Arrival this Saturday, noon to 7. First aid items will be collected, and then off you go Monday.
Yeah, thank you.
Before we let you go, simple question: are you scared?
Exhilarated more than scared. It's I stay on the safe side of the line. I know politics can change quickly. I have no death wish, so I will be watching the news as best I can, and I want to move both the people and myself somewhere safe. I won't put myself in any real danger or anything like that. I'm not looking to go into Ukraine at this time or anything like that. So just right at the border, do the work I need to do, and then get the folks to somewhere more comfortable for them.
GoFundMe.com. Help them out. Transportation for Ukraine. John Graham is his name. And if people want to drop some cash in a jar on Saturday, can they do that?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John, and safe travels.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bring along some first aid kit paraphernalia.
This weekend.
Drop a little bit of cash in. Hit GoFundMe. He's gone once and he's going to go back. What a remarkable story to say. And I love this thing. It's like, well, there's going to be 48 million refugees. I only say 40. You're making a difference. You can't think that way.
When he said it was minor what he was doing, I wanted to stop and say, John, this is not minor. This is no. This is for those, especially for those people that you're taking. Yep. This is life-saving work you're doing. You're getting them to safety. You're helping them get away from this, and that's not a minor thing.
Thanks to the internet, here's something that just popped into my head live on the podcast. We talked about women and children, right? 15 years from now, John, if you're listening to this podcast, 15 years from now, you're going to get an email. And it's going to be from a 18-year-old young man or young lady graduating high school somewhere who was a 3-year-old that you transported. Who somehow found out that was you who saved their mother and them, giving them a life, and they're going to go be a doctor. They're just going to go do something, and they're going to thank you. And that email, if email still exists in 15 years, is really the testament to what you can do. I've told you the story of the starfish thing you talk about. Sidetracking.
Yes.
The little boy on the beach, and there are thousands of starfish, and he's going along, he's throwing them back in the ocean. And the guy, because we're adults, we know everything, says to the little kid, "You're not going to make a difference. There are thousands of those." And he picks up one, he throws it in the water, and he said, "I made a difference to that one."
Yep.
That's the way we have to think in life. If you just look at the sheer numbers, yes, it's overwhelming. There's nothing we can do. But if you just start like John did, so I'm just going to go over it. If I can save 20 or 30, that's what I want to do.
Well, and as he pointed out in the first conversation we had, like many of us, he was left with that feeling of, what can I do? How can I help? Because I think many of us are watching going, what can I possibly do to help anyone in this situation? And he decided that's what he could do. So it's an incredible thing he's doing. And
good on him.
If you're still wondering what you can do, then go to the Spring Revival this weekend and drop off some first aid items. Check out the GoFundMe page. Even just follow along with him on Facebook, along with his journey. That will create buzz and raise some awareness and hopefully educate more people. And it's incredible.
He's going to be going back on Monday. Also coming up tomorrow morning, Throwback Thursday, for our mothers who sing about their children thing.
These are songs about being a mother.
A mom.
So it's not necessary, because we played around with it. We thought, well, we could do songs about mom.
Yeah.
Or we could do artists that are moms, and there's so many out there.
Yep.
Or we could do songs about motherhood. And these are two, and very, very unique songs about motherhood.
So Leanne Womack, who featured her children in the video, I Hope You Dance, which is what every parent wants for their child. Like,
absolutely. Live your life. Go out there and
you get the choice to sit it out or dance. Yep. Man, go. Dance. Do it. So that's Team Mark today.
I went with Celine Dion's A New Day Has Come. And I don't know how many people are aware that this song is about her becoming a mother, because you might have forgotten, you might not be aware as well. She really struggled with becoming a mom, not with the decision, but just getting there, as many people do. It wasn't as easy for her as some to become a mother. She had to go through quite a few things to get there. And so when it finally happened, she was overjoyed. And that's where a new day has come.
So get your votes in on our socials. Winning Song is coming up tomorrow morning after the 8 o'clock news. So once again, thank you to John Graham for that.
I just hope we're here on time tomorrow.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
Tomorrow's going to be a good day for us, a better day, because you and I both almost didn't make it.
I couldn't find my key fob, so when I tried to get into my vehicle, the car alarm goes off at 4:30 in the pouring rain. I'm running late for me. I know the show starts at 6, but I don't want to get in. Like, we got a lot of stuff to do. Yeah. Same thing for you. It's not like you roll in at 2 minutes to 6.
For some reason, my alarm didn't go off. And that is one of the biggest fears I think we all have, especially working this shift, is I can't sleep in. And it was only 10 minutes, but it was enough that I felt like I was playing catch up all morning. And then the difference on the road with vehicles at between 4:30 and leaving at 4:40 is, where did you all come from?
Yeah.
Like, really? 10 minutes? And it was just.
And how about in a 60 zone, you do 60 or 65? Stop
well, really,
this,
do
55.
they come into play?
Come on.
I know they're there for a reason, and of course you want to be safe, but a part of me kind of feels like maybe at 5 o'clock in the morning, it might not be as important to drive 60 as, say, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
When Charity's alarm didn't go off.
And I just missed the train. Not that I was racing it, but I just crossed the train tracks here.
Walbridge Loyalist.
At Walbridge Loyalist, and the arm comes down and the lights start. And I thought, oh my God, thank goodness. Wouldn't that have just
been something?
That would have just put me off even
You probably would have called me in tears. I know.
I'm trying to get there.
And I would be so sympathetic and say, turn around, go home.
I know, you would. You would be that sympathetic. But no, I am dedicated. And a car alarm, late getting up, it's not going to stop us. We are going to be here.
Here we are tomorrow morning. And of course, we'll get set for what we plan will be a Belleville Senators playoff win in Rochester tonight. Full show today, full show tomorrow. Wake up with Mark and Charity mornings. It's the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Wherever you get your favorite podcast, join us Monday through Friday, a daily 15 to 20 minutes of what went on this day in the Quinte region. Enjoy your Wednesday.